Approval levels. CAAPS routes invoices to staff with the correct level of approval, ensuring invoices cannot be approved unless the person has the correct authority. An authorised staff member can adjust approval levels for situations when a person is acting in a new role. The approval table can be easily maintained manually or integrated with other systems, so you only have to control delegations in one place. Automatic routing. Accounts payable staff are often reduced to the role of postmaster, distributing queries and approvals. This typically involves scanning the invoice and emailing it. Then they have to chase the recipient to make sure they process the invoices required. CAAPS removes this burden by using your business rules to decide how queries or problems should be routed, and to decide who the correct person is for approval or coding of the invoice. CAAPS uses your rules to route the invoice to the correct person, with a description of what is required of them, whether that be approval, coding or goods receipt. CAAPS also sends reminders to ensure the work is completed in the required time. If for any reason the work is not completed in the required time, CAAPS can redirect the work to the next appropriate person. The system's report engine allows you to report on all invoices, what stage they are at, and whether they have been paid on time. Reminders and escalation of tasks. Accounts payable staff no longer need to chase other staff to approve or code invoices. Recipients are simply sent an email with a link to the document requiring approval, coding or correction. When the recipient opens the email, they are advised as to what is required. They click the link and the web browser opens, showing them the document. Approvals may be as simple as one button click. As the person has already logged into Windows, CAAPS can record who approved the invoice and when. This same process can prevent a person approving an invoice not assigned to them. Making it as easy as possible for the invoice recipient increases the chance the task will be completed on time. If the person does not take the appropriate action in a timely manner, a friendly reminder is sent to the person with a link to the document. CAAPS can also reroute the work if no activity is completed in the required time. This prevents you being placed on stop supply because an invoice sat in someone's in-tray too long. Automatic coding. CAAPS endeavours to reduce the coding burden and make the coding more accurate. It achieves this in several ways. It can display codes as descriptions and codes. It can limit the codes available based on the supplier and what codes have been used in the past for that supplier. Often a supplier may be coded the same way each time, so the codes can be automatically populated. If you use the CAAPS purchase order functionality, invoices will be coded automatically as soon as they are received. Work reassignment. What happens with the automation of accounts payable if the person assigned to a task is away on leave or due to sickness? Would this cause the processing to stop? CAAPS allows an authorised manager to see all the work a certain staff member has assigned to them. They can then reallocate the work to other staff members as required. If the original staff member then returns to work, the work that has not been completed can be reassigned back to the original person. Your business rules. Your business rules are often unique, based on the way your organisation has evolved over time and how it wants to operate today. These rules develop to improve accuracy, quality and financial controls. The Business Rules Engine takes your rules and applies them consistently across all invoices. It then reports in an understandable way on the status of each and every invoice. How does this differ from accounting software? We find accounting software will normally be customized to include the basic rules. For example, does the invoice match the purchase order? Have the goods been receipted? The reason the accounting software does not contain all the rules is due to the cost of customizing the software, the time involved, and the difficulty in being able to report on the result of a new rule. For example, if I add a rule so invoices that come from supplier X need to go to person Y for approval, if above a certain amount, I cannot easily see how many invoices are affected, nor can I tell how much extra time this adds to the process or how much of a burden my new rule creates. This is where the Business Rules engine helps. It allows you to add your rules easily at a very low cost and have the ability to trace the result. Often clients may start with only a dozen rules, and then over time this can grow to be beyond 100. The rules are added as opportunities are detected to improve productivity, accuracy and quality. Statement reconciliation. CAAPS automates the reconciliation of the statement with invoices received. Statements get fed into CAAPS, which reconciles the list of invoices on the statement with the invoices that are currently in the system. If an invoice is missing from CAAPS, it can email the supplier requesting a copy, or advise an accounts payable staff member that there is a missing invoice from the supplier, and detailing which invoice is missing. CAAPS will then recheck at regular intervals until the problem is resolved, or an authorised person decides to cancel the reconciliation. After an invoice is detected as being missing, you can decide how long before it should be checked again. You can also decide if you want the system to send reminders that the invoice is still missing. The reminders can go to the supplier or accounts payable. The idea is to solve non-payment of invoices before it disrupts supply or damages the relationship with the supplier. Visibility. Unfortunately, often organisations cannot report an accurate financial position at any point in time, but can only report based on what is in the financial system, with some guessing to allow for invoices and credits that have not yet been inputted. This causes a lag in the ability to make accurate financial decisions. With CAAPS, any invoice that the organisation receives can be tracked and reported on. This can include invoice value, the current status of the invoice, whether it is a duplicate invoice, whether the goods have been received, its status in the process cycle, and when it will impact on cash flow. CAAPS gives complete and timely visibility. Reporting. CAAPS has a built-in report engine, which allows you to create reports that show your current financial liability accurately, in very close to real time. The reports can be used to measure KPIs in the accounts payable department, or you can use the reports to detect bottlenecks in the approval processes and to inform people if their approval or coding is beyond acceptable levels. Security. CAAPS gives you complete control of access to documents. You can provide access to view the data and invoice, but not print or email it. Or you can restrict certain invoices to certain people. CAAPS also has an audit trail to track who accessed what and when. The invoices themselves are digitally signed, so the electronic files cannot be modified without detection, providing far greater security than hard copy paper or your standard electronic files that can be easily modified. Quality checks. We all agree quality and accuracy are important, especially in accounts payable, as an error can result in real financial losses. In accounts payable, errors often occur as a result of staff not having enough time to apply all the quality checks, or not applying them consistently across all invoices. For this reason, we built the Business Rules engine. The Business Rules engine takes your rules and applies them consistently across all invoices. It then reports in an understandable way what the status is of each and every invoice. How does this differ from accounting software? We find accounting software will normally be customized to include the basic rules. For example, does the invoice match the purchase order? Have the goods been receipted? The reason accounting software does not contain all the rules is due to the cost of customizing the software, the time involved, and the difficulty in being able to report on the result of a new rule. For example, if I add a rule so invoices that come from supplier X need to go to person Y for approval if above a certain amount, I cannot easily see how many invoices are affected. Nor can I tell how much extra time this adds to the process or how much of a burden my new rule creates. This is where the Business Rules engine helps. It allows you to add your rules easily, at a very low cost, and have the ability to trace the result. Often clients may start with only a dozen rules, and then over time this can grow to be beyond 100. The rules are added as opportunities are detected to improve productivity, accuracy and quality. Auditors. You can now sit the auditor in front of a PC and with a few clicks they can find any invoice, EFT advice and purchase order details they require. You no longer have to scramble to find invoices and other supporting information each time an audit is undertaken. User-friendly. Due to the ability of the interface to be easily customized, you can make the screen suit your staff needs. You can make it look similar to existing software, or you can show only information that is relevant to that person. You can have different default screens appear for different users. You can remove menu items, making the choices even easier for staff. EFT advice generation. EFT payment runs can be uploaded to CAAPS, with this information used to record the EFT information against the invoice. It can also generate an EFT advice and email the advice to the supplier. No need to print, mail or email and file advices. EFT capture. CAAPS can automatically import the EFT advice and record the EFT details against the invoice, including how much was paid and when, allowing you to easily answer supplier queries. In a few clicks you can locate the invoice and have access to all the details. You no longer need to attach EFT statements to invoices and refile the invoice. Linking with your financial or ERP solution. Once the invoice is processed through CAAPS, the information is formatted to exactly suit your financial software, so it can be imported to your systems without having to be modified. You have the option of including a link to the invoice in the import, which is a simple line of text. CAAPS enables your software so that when this text is clicked, CAAPS opens up the associated documents in the web browser. This information could be the invoice, purchase order, EFT details or any other supporting information. It also allows staff to go to one place and in a few clicks see all required information. This dramatically reduces the number of requests accounts payable staff receive for copies of invoices. Customizable. CAAPS is customized to suit your requirements, and this process is not time-consuming or expensive, as over time we've built up a library of proven modules. We sit with you to learn about your current processes and suggest business rules and approaches based on experiences with other clients. CAAPS is then set up to meet your specific requirements. Over time, your experience and knowledge will grow with the aid of good reporting, and this will lead you to realize other opportunities to further improve productivity. This is why CAAPS was developed, to allow innovation in its design to be easy and painless.